our work session tonight for September 28, 2020 at 6 p.m. And good evening, everyone. Ms. Berner, if you could call roll, please.
Sure. Mayor Lowry,
Here.
Councilman Grimm,
Here.
Councilman Nowakowski,
Here.
Councilman Cobb,
Here.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Here.
and Vice Mayor Cook.
Here.
6 members present.
All right, thank you very much. All right, tonight's invocation will be done by Councilwoman Nowakowski. When you're ready, ma'am. Thank you.
Certainly. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening as we prepare to do the work of the city. Help us to wisely guide the city into what it has the potential of being. Watch over us and over all of our city employees, especially our firefighters and first responders. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. And we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Grimm is getting the flag out for us. Thank you, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the United States of
United
America
States of America,
and to the
to
republic
the republic
for which it
for
stands,
which stands
one nation,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty.
liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Grimm. All right. Let's see here. Action on the minutes, none. Communications, none. City manager's report, none. I'll drop down to comments from members of the public. Mr. Bridge, how's the computer looking?
We have no new emails.
All right. Thank you very much. If anything happens to pop up, just let us know.
Will do.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
All right. Committee reports, none. Resolutions, none. Ordinances, none. Other business. We drop down to city council vacant seat appointment. So in case anyone had missed it, the last meeting, there was 2 applicants, Mr. Cook and Mr. Roadwall, who applied were the only 2. And it was a tied vote 3-3 for each candidate. So what that leaves us with is, per the New Carlisle City Charter, is if council fails to do so, it basically puts it on the mayor. Says that, should council fail to fill the vacancy within 30 days of the publication of the notice of the vacancy, of which would be Ms. Hopkins in this case, the mayor shall do so by appointment within 7 days of the tie. So that's where we're at. Again, I want to thank both individuals for making the effort to put in an application. It was nice to get an interview with both of them. Me personally, I would like to appoint Mr. Roadwall to council. He has been pretty active in the community, and that's a pretty big thing for me. He's known in the community as far as working down at the Baseball Association. I think he does a lot of work out at Tecumseh. So, he's kind of well known in the community, and he's put the effort to go out there and do things on his own. So with that being said, I would like to appoint Mr. Roadwall to council and thank him and Mr. Cook for their efforts for putting in the applications to council. So, Mr. Bridge, you have the individuals in the waiting room?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, so what we would do now is Ms. Berner, if you could bring him in, Mr. Bridge, and then Ms. Berner would swear Mr. Roadwall in on council.
Okay, and he'll be joining us here shortly. There he is. Hello, Councilman Roadwall. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Doing good, and I will let the mayor take over from here.
Thank
Good
you.
evening, Mr. Roadwall. Welcome to the council meeting. Next step in this process would be our clerk of council, Ms. Berner, to do her duty as swearing you into your position, if you were ready to do so.
I am, sir.
All right, Ms. Berner, it's all you.
Okay. All right. Raise your right hand. Hopefully this will go easy. Okay. I, and state your name,
I, Dan Rodwald,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I shall support
that I shall support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I shall faithfully,
and that I shall faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially discharge
and impartially discharge
the duties of member of council
the duty of member of council
for the city of New Carlisle, Ohio,
for the city of New Carlisle, Ohio,
for the term ending 12/31/23, to which I have been selected.
for the term that, oh, wow, that was a lot. For the term that ends 12, you say 23,
12/31/23,
12/31/23,
to which I have been selected.
to which I have been selected.
Got it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Congratulations. So, Ms. Berta, thank you very much. And again, Mr. Rodwall, thank you again for putting in an application, taking the time to do so, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So with that being said, well, first of all, did you have any questions before we move forward for tonight, Mr. Rodwall?
No, I did not.
Okay, thank you. Council, any questions before we move forward or comments? Okay. Mr. Bridge, I guess we'll hand it to you, sir, for our next topic, which would be the wastewater rate increase discussion.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wish we were here to discuss more happier items, but unfortunately, we've come to a point that we need to bring some discussion in front of council regarding the rates that we charge our wastewater consumers. As we all know, we have a very aging facility, and we had to incur some debt in these past few years to kind of help fix some things or replace some things that have been faltered or failed in the past year or so. We did present an ordinance for introduction at the last council meeting. This is up for vote on the 5th, which is of October, which is our next regularly scheduled meeting. So today I did email all council members out the ordinance again because it has all the pertinent information on it. I did get the question today asked to me, when was the last time we did have a rate increase in the wastewater? And that was in 2017. It is noted on the ordinance as the last whereas sentence before you get to the qualifier, the now therefore. Howie had presented some rates, and then I had put it on to this ordinance, and that is what we have in front of council tonight. At any point in time, council members has any questions, please feel free to join in. I am going to let Mr. Kitko speak a lot tonight because it is his department, and he knows a lot more about the ins and outs of the wastewater operations than I do. So I will let Mr. Kitko say anything on his behalf that he feels as though is pertinent information.
Thank you, Mr. Bridge. You're muted there, Mr. Kitko.
Apologize. All right, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Bridge, Mayor, members of council. Basically, it's not what we want to do, but we've been reviewing kind of the wastewater department over the last couple of years. And as you're aware, over the last couple of years, we have done some major improvements to the wastewater plant. The last being 2012 was sludge pressing, new filtration, and that was inside a lot of the main building. 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, we had completed the influent, which is basically the main pumps, screenings, and everything of the first thing that the wastewater sees at the wastewater plant. So it's real critical to get it as clean as we can there before it hits the rest of the system. That project was close to $500,000. And we did use some wastewater cash for that project, which is approximately $250,000. The rest was a loan from New Carlisle Federal Savings Bank. And then the last project that we did not, we're always planning to do stuff, but not this one quite yet, was the primary clarifier that council approved. It was an emergency that basically self-destructed after 40 years. And so it was unexpected. And we did attain a full loan to repair that at about $160,000 through New Carlisle Federal. They have been giving us superb rates of, I think it was high 2 or low 3s. I don't have that specifics right in front of me, for a 3-year term. And for those 2 items, the loan payments, which will start since the project completed, it's a year till the loan payment comes out, which is 2021. And those are February or March coming up. The influent building will be $68,000 for 3 years. And then the primary clarifier is $57,319. That may change a little bit due to the time we make that payment, but those 2 are the big ones. One of them especially being definitely unexpected, and that is part of the reason for some of this rate increase to cover this main debt. Other debt, while we're on there, we currently pay $15,500 to the water meter project. That basically is how we calculate our sewer for city residents. OPWC was the YMCA then extension that was sent water and sewer down to the old YMCA. That will come off in 2026. So we have a lot of things that are, that one coming off. And then we have the one that's still on interest-free. That was the 2012 project for $32,912. And that was $1 million project at 0 interest. So the goal I'd like to do is get that one obviously paid off earlier than another 23 years from now-ish. Well, 22 years from now. So the total debt we got coming up for 2021 is $180,334. I might be off a couple bucks here and there, but that's about where we're going to be. So when I started doing how we're looking to possibly end this year with one of the big things is lower usage. Since sewer is charged a lot of it for most of our customers based on water usage, we have noticed a significant decrease in usage of water. It sounds funny that even though with COVID, I believe people were at home, high efficiency appliances, things have resulted in that. Again, I think I've spoke before, leak detection has been huge for the city. It actually kind of affects us in leaks. And, we do make money off of leaks, but that's not the goal for the environmental side of pulling all the water out of the aquifer. So with that, lower water usage comes lower sewer usage. So we're seeing that on the backside too with sewer. And I know rates were just increased about 3 years ago, but looking at the wages through all the way to contractual, basically everything that's in the budget for wastewater, you can see that did a rate adjustment to basically account for the loans in the first year. 2021 still might be a little tight. We are definitely not getting rich in year 1. We're hoping at a year 2, year 3, by the end of year 3, when those 2 loans come off, that's approximately $130,000 that we'll get back. And hopefully by then, some of the equipment we have, we'll go pay cash for one of these projects further. There is a small increase that will come in year 4 that may help offset inflation, things like that. And then basically how I gauge the rates is usage from 2019, and that is splitting all the districts up for New Carlisle residents. Our sewer only customers, which is your Quail Ridge area just north of the golf course. The mobile home parks, Brookwood, Chateau, and can't remember the other one. But all 3 of those, we base our sewer off of they have water meters that they use for their own well system. So we base it off that. And then we receive sewer from Northampton. Northampton collects from Northwestern Local School District and Chateau Estates Mobile Home Park, and then a few developments that they have. So I'm using their usage, which is in the millions of gallons, to take that number, which is, it can fluctuate, I wouldn't say significantly, but it can, to calculate that times the rate to pay for operational debt, wages, the whole 9 yards. So in doing that, using that rate for 2021, And with Northampton, I forgot to mention this, Northampton comes in a little later with rates due to their contract. But I do believe Mr. Bridge and I will be discussing some further information with that. So the anticipated revenue for 2021, we think will be about $1,013,000. I did adjust the current obligations that we have in 2020 for wastewater. I bumped them a little bit to be able to still do some repairs and not, try to hold things over just till 2022. But as you can see, the rate, it would go up to $7.75 in 2021, $8.15 in 2022, $8.50 in 23, and $8.75 in 24. With, again, at the end of 23, the 2 loan payments would be coming off. So we would hope that then that would be able to go towards another short-term loan and try for the city of New Carlisle to not get in to 20-year loans, 30-year loans. Even if it is 0 interest, it still puts a burden on it for long-term because the equipment typically is not 30 years. Structures, yes, but some of the equipment will run out in 20 years and then you could potentially be paying for them. So that is the basic rundown on kind of the numbers, how I took the calculations times the gallons that we're using and come up with what is, try to budget for the next 4 years for that.
Okay.
So I could entertain any questions. If you need further clarification about certain districts, I can try to answer any questions.
Okay, council.
I have a
Anything from
question.
Mr. Grimm.
Give me an example of where New Carlisle Service District 3 would be.
Let me pull my paper here real quick. District 3 is... Okay, District 3 is the Quail Ridge up behind the golf course, houses around the golf course. Quail Ridge and the road across from the golf course.
Country Square.
Yes, Country Square. That area is sewer only.
And they are paying a rate better than 10 times what we pay here.
They are paying basically about the same, and what used to be how the rate charge was OM&R was about the same. They used to pay along with the District 2. Let me make sure I got it right here. Yeah, for District 3, A and B, B being the mobile home parks, they had a sewer extension that only they were paying for. So that is gone, and now we all share. So basically, they get a little bit of reduction because they're no longer paying for a sole loan project that just affected them and no city residents.
Yeah, so theirs is coming down $3.
Anything else,
Mhm.
Mr. Grimm?
No.
Okay. Mr. Kit, go ahead. Can you, and this is kind of a side question to the subject at hand, but can you break down kind of just the gist of how the Northampton came into play for the city?
Back in 1996, Northampton was in need via EPA. They had a bunch of septic systems, and I believe they were having some issues. And we were the closest utility that I believe that could get them sewer. So yeah, they had a USDA loan for various things, and then the loan to extend. So yeah, we have a trunk line that runs like Black Pike, crosses Dietrich Jordan there, runs all behind the Kessler farm, and it runs down the creek behind Twin Creeks eventually to us.
Okay. So, but the city processes all their wastewater, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So if I'm looking at the papers or the numbers here, right, they're going to be paying the exact same for waste as what we will.
Yes.
Okay. This might sound awful, but I'm going to ask it. Should they, let's say in a similar scenario, another city doing the same setup with another type of location, like Northampton. Would Northampton or the other city in another scenario like this, would they be paying a higher rate since they are, kind of they're the side entity to this setup and they're so far away from us?
Yes, some do, some don't. There's been a contract in place since 1996, where the original contract, it was with Northampton. The city was reliable. Let's get away from the treatment of the sewer, because the treatment of sewer is treatment of sewer no matter who we get it from.
Right.
However, we were paying for all the lift station operational stuff, repairs of it and everything. And then I helped renegotiate the latest one to put all the charges back on Northampton. As far as, if a pump went down, they pay for it. Phone service, gas service, they pay for all that stuff now. So we've made some progress. But again, like I had mentioned, Mr. Bridge and I will be discussing the contract soon.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, if
No, we had the discussion last week in the office, and I was not aware of that. Apparently, there's a contract we have with them that states that they will pay no more than the city residents if there's no debt. So we're going to be looking at that. But unfortunately, as it states now, because that contract is in place well before any of us really was involved in the city, I think we have to honor that contract.
And when's that contract up?
I do believe it's perpetual, but Howie, you can correct me on that because I probably am wrong.
I'd have to dig back in, but I think it goes for
Very long time.
Yeah, and then you can open it up for just about any reason.
Okay, so we couldn't potentially say we want to charge them, say, a nickel more than what we were wanting to charge our citizens.
Sure, we could open it up and then it goes to a negotiation. The attorneys get involved, all that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, that's all kind of I had. I mean,
Mr. Grimm has a question.
I have a question.
Oh. Sorry, Dale, you were on my other screen. Go ahead.
So it costs us nothing more to provide sewer service to Northampton than it does to the city residents, right?
Correct. The only thing we do, I take it back, it's about 99% correct. We do check it to make sure that we are getting clean sewer from them and that everything is coming to us and we don't get some sort of dump. So we do, I think, one time a week or twice a week, drive up to the lift station and we will make sure that, because we have a meter up there. So, we meter the sewer, we make sure that things are getting to us right. Is that time that we are invested? Yes. Do we have to do the repairs or anything? No. We get fully reimbursed for our labor and materials for repairs and maintenance up there.
So then it's really negligible.
Correct.
This may not be on topic, but what percent capacity are we running with the sewer?
Currently, we're about 50%. We average anywhere about 500,000 gallons a day.
Okay, thank you.
Very good question.
Mr. Roadwall, saw your hand.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Kitco, where do our rates compared to, you probably don't know this, or maybe you do, compared to surrounding areas? I hate to bring in Troy or Springfield because they're just so much larger than we are, but our rates comparable to another city of our size? Do you know where we sit comparable to? I tried to find it today online with Tip City, but since I'm not a resident, they won't show me their wastewater rates or sewer rates. So
if I had the email handy, I could just ship it over to you real quick. But the city of Oakwood or Montgomery County does a Miami Valley region through Oakwood. And they do a water, sewer, and then a combined. Water, we're pretty high. Sewer, we're in the lower end, and we're starting to creep up there now. However, a lot of municipalities and then people in my position who handle these utilities do not like. One is comparing us to say water with Enon. We just don't treat the same, even though we're very similar population, or not population, but pump the same water. It's hard to compare because our treatment processes are more in depth than what their treatment processes are. And so, but yeah, this document will give you what you're asking for. But if you have more in depth, I can tell you here's why ours costs more compared to maybe another municipality just due to style of treatment.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Roadwall. Council, anyone else have any questions? Mr. Vice Mayor. I'll get you next.
Are there any thoughts of any alterations toward the plant? Any possibility of new construction down there? And or a thought of going into and I will call it a county plant in the future?
First part is yes, we would like to, not new construction, but we will be replacing some equipment. I hope maybe I want to make sure I'm on the same page. We will not be expanding our plant new construction. However, we will be looking to put new equipment in place of the existing old equipment. Part two, I've had a discussion with Clark County, Tri-County Regional, I think it's Tri-County Regional. They are pretty big. We would be a significant supplier to them. However, and this was in the past that was brought up to me at various councils and personnel and just citizens throughout years, is once you get hooked on to something like that again, what you were talking about, possible rates for the outside people that you're pumping it to, they can lay it on to you for sending them sewer, maybe because we have a certain business or what we send them is not quite the class of waste that they're really looking for. And they can say, Clark County, we charge $1 per thousand. New Carlisle, we're going to charge you $1.25. So that opens that up for a regional for us to join the regional system. And then we would pay that debt to install that trunk line, probably to hook up.
Okay, is another part to that question. At this point, what percentage of our plant is operational, and do we have any additional room?
We have room the plant right now is set to be mirrored. So everything we have down there now could literally be put on the other side of the sidewalk that's down there. What was the first part again? I apologize.
Are we at 100%, 50%?
Oh, we're about 75%. We have two clarifiers that we got some skimmer work to work on that we got to get done either by the end of this year or first of this next year. But then every piece of equipment we have will be up and running. But again, it'll start to be on borrowed time.
So basically, if we're at about 75%, would that equate to somewhere in the neighborhood of another possible 200 to 400 homes coming on board?
Yeah, we have room. We do for capacity wise with your run at 50. What they like to see, especially in water, they want to see you run a higher percentage because the pump, if it's going to pump some water, it's easier for it to just pump it, get it over with rather than cycling. And typically at night, say 2 a.m, we get really low flows. Do save a little bit of electricity, but the pumps aren't as efficient at that point. But we have room. We have plenty of room for expansion. I have had discussions with stuff like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Mr. Grimm, did you have something?
Yes. If you happen to find that email from Oakwood, Montgomery County, I'd like to see it. No big rush. No big deal. It's just
I've been looking for it. As soon as I find it, I'll skin it out to you guys. I have it saved on my computer somewhere. I was looking for it.
And on the revenue reports we received, we're doing better on revenue than last year. Revenue is higher than last year, and expenses are lower than last year.
And I can answer that. The reason the revenue is higher is we had the loan proceeds in 2020.
That's right.
And then we will be expending what we got for those loan proceeds in 21, 22, and 23.
Thank you.
And if you take that to account with the loan proceeds, we're $23,000 off compared to this time last year.
I mean,
$23,000 less than this point
in the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Grimm. Mr. Rodwell, did you have something?
I mean, again, it's just why hasn't there been an increase since 2017? Why isn't this something that we look at every year? You know, I mean, obviously costs go up for everything. I think this is a sticker shock when you look. And I mean, I can explain it that, you know, we haven't had an increase in 44 months or what will be 44 months. But I mean, I see going forward, we have rate increases every year on the same day. I just don't know why we waited almost 4 years since the last increase, knowing that the equipment we have is getting older. The upkeep on it's getting more and more expensive. And again, I'm not, you know, I doubt it's anyone's fault. I just don't know. Just seems odd that we wouldn't at least have some sort of increase rate every year just for the increase in just wages and healthcare alone. So
Very good point. And I'd like to just touch on some of those. So we have historically wanted to do a yearly rate increases. Past councils did not want to do that. Our objective on that was to have, like you said, rate increases minimal every year on the same date. That way it's steady across the board to account for our increases of just the way things cost. We wanted to have this rate increase. We were originally supposed to have this in front of council back in February, March timeframe of this year. But when COVID hit, council didn't want it to bring forth because they didn't want to put undue hardship on the citizens, which was probably the wisest decision for them at that point in time. But unfortunately, we're in a situation now where we have to move forward with it. What we did last time, and how you can jump in at any point in time, we raised the water rates, I think, back in 16, 15?
Yeah, I think it was 15. Yeah, it was 15.
15, and that was a 15, 16. So I think we have a few more coming on.
We got one more. Yeah.
Yeah. So it has historically how it's been done is we'll do the water and then we'll do the sewer. So they're not hitting at once. Does that make sense?
okay, yes, sir.
Really what needs to happen for water and wastewater is we need to have them yearly increases that our consumers expect to come. And then it's not so much of a burden on them once we do have to increase.
Yeah.
And I think once we have this rate exhaustion, as well as the next one with the water, we will be presenting those in front of council with those yearly increases.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roadwall. Ms. Harris, did you have anything you wanted to add in while you were here?
No, I was just agreeing with the manager about the smaller and annual increases helps us keep up at least with inflation. So
Right.
that would be good.
Welcome back, by the way. I wasn't at the last meeting when you showed up, so welcome back.
Thank you.
No, I can just tell you for sure that for years I've been trying to get an annual because the total dollar per amount right now wouldn't be this high if the small percentages were gone. You know, you exponentially gain funds over very small amounts through a longer period of time. Yeah, I'm not a super big fan of the big jumps, but
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, because if you look at just the rate increase from 15, 16, 17, and just equate those out, if we would have had yearly rate increases, we'd probably be in the neighborhood of about 690 per 100,000 versus 775. So, I mean, ultimately, you know, the residents would be saving more money versus getting hit now. But I understand why we got some loan payments coming. We got some equipment that's going to need to be updated and replaced. So, okay.
All right. Mr. Grimm.
Okay. It says per 775 per 1,000 gallons, which is an increase of 2.25. Look at my water bill. Current usage is 5. Is that 5,000 gallons?
yes.
Is there an average, what an average household would use?
The average it's kind of a rough average. It's 175 gallons per day for a residential household, which equates to about 5,300 and some change gallons per month. So the average is about 5,000.
So their bill would go up around $10 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Very good questions tonight, guys. Thank you.
And I enjoyed the questions. Honestly, I'd rather be as clear as we can.
Right. And council, any other questions for Mr. Mr. Cobb.
If with these increases and repairs in the wastewater treatment plant, do we tack onto this to Northampton, trailer parks and all that?
Yes, everybody shares equally in these loans and repairs that we do.
Okay, but now Northampton, they don't due to the contract, correct? If
Well,
Northampton,
They'll stay, if I'm remembering right, they stay level with what our residents pay, correct, Mr. Kitco?
Yes.
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb. And anyone else? All right. Just one, quick thing, when we get into these water discussions and, whether this sounds good or bad, I know a lot of people have their opinions on water discussions and the rates. And Mr. Kitco and I know we've talked before, and what Mr. Rodwald asked earlier was as far as, how does our city compare to cities similar size? And you guys discussed we discussed the same thing, that our processing and could be different or better or not the same. For me personally, and I never want to see anything increase. I like to keep as much of my money as possible. But the one thing I don't think I would, and again, I'm just speaking for me, I'm not speaking for council, but a water is one of the most important things I think we could have. I don't ever want to have to pay, large amounts for it, but I'm not going to argue too much because water is pretty important, but I appreciate everything you put forth today, Mr. Kitco. It helps a lot. It just
Look at
how is with Twin Creek starting to develop a little bit more. They're building houses pretty regular out there. That's not going to be an issue for us anytime in the near future with possible plans of maybe that expanding.
No, we're already ready for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Nowakowski?
I was just going to say, just do a calculation on the amount of money people spend on bottled water, and the water bill looks really good.
Right. I buy a ton of bottled water.
Me too. We're all guilty of it.
Yeah. So sorry, Howie. Would you rather I not buy bottled water?
Correct.
Okay. No more bottled water. So,
Tap water right here.
We're getting rid of that junk container at the office. It's got to go.
I have my own bottle.
All right, council, any other questions or comments on this particular topic? For
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Rodwall has a question.
Okay, sorry, I'm got to go between screens there. Go ahead, sir.
Speaking of Twin Creeks, Howie, do we get these hookup charges every time a new home is built out in Twin Creeks?
Yes, every structure that is new to the city of New Carlisle, they pay a water tap and a sewer tap fee that will not go into this general operating for each department. It goes into a capital improvement for future repairs. That's what those are for.
How about the Northampton subdivision? They're building houses out there. left and right.
We do not get the tap fees because we don't care for their system up there.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rodwall. Anyone else? All right, Mr. Kitco, do you have anything else before looks like we'll finish up with this topic?
Excuse me. No, I don't. Just know that, we always keep track as these come in, that if for some reason something seems to be a little low, we'll come back later and may have to make minor adjustments. You hate to, because everything is based on usage, and we get into next year and, usage really shoots up. It even gets a little bit less, or these new structures coming in. Just be flexible. That's what I try to do with Ms. Harris and Randy, or Ms. Harris and Mr. Bridge, with keeping an eye on this and making sure that our calculations stay true to what we budgeted.
Okay, great.
But that's all I got. I appreciate the discussion. I think this is the most questions I've gotten in any work session.
One more quick question. Just the plant down there, the waste plant, that was, it's been a while since I've been down there. When was that built? Because that was updated. Did you or Mr. Vice Mayor know?
The plant was 1980 was the last major upgrade, but it's put in the early 70s. It started in 30 something, moved to the 50s, and then what you see down there now started in the 70s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And but overall, the physical structure of that location is okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
That plant, Mr. Kitco, was built in 1978.
There you have it.
42 years ago. So, all
And
right.
we just recently replaced what, a clarifier?
Yeah.
Yeah, the unexpected one was the clarifier. The budgeted one was the inflow building, which is all your main pumps.
Okay. All right. Anything else for Mr. Kitco? All right. Thank you, Mr. Kitco. We appreciate it as always, sir. And Mr. Bridge, I don't know if you have anything, but I'll check. Back to you if you got anything. You're muted. You're muted.
Thank you.
Stop
You're
talking.
muted, Randy.
You're muted.
There
You're
we go.
muted.
Sorry, Tucker's going crazy back in the back room there. Thank you, Mr. Kitco. You did a fantastic job as always. We really appreciate it. Council, seriously, you guys had some really good questions tonight for that. We appreciate that. This is one of the better rate discussions that we've ever had. So we do appreciate that. So I would like to call, I hate to do it, but another special meeting for this week. We want to go ahead and get our 2021 to 25 CIP submitted to council on October 5th. It will be an intro resolution. So I finished most of it up today. I do want to get in front of council, so I am requesting a special meeting again this week, possibly Thursday evening, to go over that, so we can vote on that on the at least introduce it on the 5th.
Okay. Council, does anyone have any problems with that time and date? I'm assuming you want to go for 6 or 7 again on Thursday?
Whatever is convenient for council. We can do it during the day. We can do it in the evening. Whatever is convenient for you. If Miss Berner can't attend, I can step in for her.
Okay.
I know we have 2 in 1 week. We do apologize, but it's this time of year when things start happening quick for the year end.
Okay.
What was the date again?
Preferably Thursday.
Of this week.
October
Yeah, that
1st?
worked.
And if my staff members don't have availability, I'd be more than happy to fill in for you.
Thursday would be October 1st.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
have
fine.
my calendar in front of me. Let me look. Yeah, so it would be the 1st.
Okay.
Ms. Berner, is that enough time to get a legal ad in if we do it tomorrow morning?
No,
How long do they need
48 hours.
for a legal ad?
So if I turn it in tomorrow, it won't run until Friday.
So if you have it in bar to bar by noon, that should cut in for Thursday, right?
It doesn't, oh, no, it doesn't usually work like that. It's usually on the 3rd day after I submit it,
Okay,
when I submit it.
okay. And we have to notify. Okay. Well, we don't want to do it on a Friday, do we? No.
No.
How about all day Saturday?
Oh, that's college football Saturday, Mr.
Oh, yeah. Saturday works for me then.
It's all right. So maybe we can start the work session on Monday at maybe 5:30, and that way, if we need to, if you do any amendments on it, we can just amend it because we'll just have to introduce it on the 5th. Then we can amend it, and then I could resubmit a clean version for when it's voted on. So would that be better if we just started the work session a little early, or just started at 6?
Much better.
5:30 is fine with me, council.
5:30 is fine with me.
Emily, would that require you to put in a whole new legal ad in though, correct? If we do it at 5:30 opposed to 6? Let's just shoot at 6 so we save money, if that's okay with council. And if we run over, we can just handle it in the regular session.
Okay.
Does that help you out, Burner? A little easier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that work, Burner?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Clerk of Council Burner.
Burner.
So nothing, it's all normal, right? Monday at 6.
Yeah, Monday at 6. And then what we'll do is we'll just discuss it then, and then any amendments council wants to do, we'll just do them on the fly, and you guys can vote the changes in, and then we'll get it cleaned up and send it back out.
Alrighty. So 6 it is instead of 5:30. So is that all right with you, Mr. Vice Mayor? Any problems with that?
No problem.
Good, Mr. Cobb?
Yep.
All right. All right. Anything else before we move to the end of this party?
Oh,
All
Motion
right. Had a motion by Mr. Cobb to adjourn,
Second.
second by Mr. Grimm. Or Grimm, as Randy would say it.
Councilwoman Noakowski,
I don't know if she's even here. Where'd she go? Anybody
Yeah,
else?
I didn't even-
Here.
where'd she go?
I
No,
don't see her. Okay.
Casey, how long she's been gone? Okay. What'd you say, Emily?
I didn't notice she was gone either.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just we'll just go around it, if you will, Miss Berner.
Councilman Cobb,
Yeah.
Councilwoman Eggleston,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Rodwall,
Yes.
Mayor Lowry,
Yes.
and Councilman Grimm.
Yes.
All right, that motion's accepted.
All right. Thank you, council. Thank you.
Mr.
citizens.
Mayor.
Good night.
Have a
Good
great
night,
evening.
all.
Mr.
See you.
Mayor,
Oh, Mr. Cobb needs something.
Yes, sir.
I lost all my video of everybody.
Can you hear us, Mr. Cobb?
I can hear.
Casey, can
Okay.
you, they adjourn. Can you kill the live feed, Casey? All
right, we're good.
We're not live.